have never met a poor man who values his time, and I've never met a rich man or a wealthy man who doesn't. Those are the words of one guy called Mike Murdoch, who teaches about purpose. He teaches about productivity and also about spirituality. In the previous episode, we were discussing about one of the things that you need to do in your life if we're going to take advantage of the brand new decade and create a decade of revolution in our lives. And that is simply this, that we need to have a system in place, a personal system. You can call it culture, you can call it tradition, whatever. But it is a personal system. Every result we have in our lives is going to be churned out by a system. And guess what? You and I already do have systems that are running in place. Question is, are they the correct systems? Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Let me start by speaking to people who have maybe no hope, especially you maybe do not have a job, you do not have some vocation that you are engaged in, and it's wearing you down. One of the biggest things that we normally do is to waste these moments where we are not engaged because we feel as if we are useless. We feel as if we are valueless. We feel as if this world does not need us up until that moment that someone engages us in some kind of job opportunity or not. That is a wrong kind of a thinking. See, the way we use our time is regardless of how we are engaged or not, regardless of whether we are engaged or not, is absolutely critical and it is important. There are going to be ups and downs in life, but you don't need to ride those waves. When you are down, you do nothing, and then when you are up, that's when you become critical about your time. I'm here to tell you that even when you do not have a vocation, even when you do not have a job, you have an opportunity right now to instill inside of your life some kind of system like I talked about in the past episode, in the previous episode. You have an opportunity to instill some kind of system in your life of how you're going to utilize your time, because this time that you do have, it is a time of obscurity, it's a moment of obscurity. The purpose of obscurity is for you to cultivate, to get more acquainted with yourself and cultivate yourself. Someone said that the moment outside of the stage is much more critical than the moment on the stage. It is why this is absolutely important that you do take care of yourself even when you do not have an opportunity. So I'm talking to a guy who doesn't have a job. I'm talking to a lady who doesn't have a job. What do you do when you do not have a job? And this is what I said. You need to have a system. I'm talking about having a revolution in this new decade. You're going to start somewhere. Even if you have absolutely nothing in your hands to do, and probably the worst thing that can happen to you, you are running in dates and you are under pressure here and you're under pressure there, your mind is not settled and so on and so forth. What is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that you are doing maybe absolutely nothing. You're trying to comfort yourself, and it's so easy, by the way, to take the path of least resistance by comforting ourselves with some kind of distractions, maybe on our smartphones or maybe on our gadgets, and we are watching things on end. And I know I'm speaking to myself also. I know sometimes I get distracted by these things. But the thing is this, that what system are you using in your life at the moment? What system is operational? What culture, what tradition is going on in your life? That is what is going to dictate your tomorrow. In fact, I am the product of what system I've been using in the past decade. That's why this new decade we've got to set up a new system. This new system, I said, is got to be something to do with how we are using our time. If you wanted to show someone that you love them, it will be how much time you give to them, how much focus you have to them. It comes down to what priorities are we having. And I'm going to tell you this, that changing your tradition or changing your culture, it is not a simple thing. It is actually a difficult thing to do. It is something that is going to have some kind of opposition internally and even externally. You're going to have some feelings of, man, this is not right, this is uncomfortable, this is maybe painful at some instance, but that is the price that you've got to pay, me and you, for a revolution into the new decade. So with no further ado, here is what I envision us doing: installing a new system, or maybe building up the previous system and sprucing it up to be a better system that can give us a revolution. And remember, the nucleus of this revolution is the self, the man in the mirror. If the man in the mirror keeps doing what he's always been doing, he's going to get what he's always been getting. And that's why it's important for us to change, or to scrutinize what is that is not working and remove it, and maybe feed on what is working, or install a new system altogether. The first thing that I think is very important, I'm going to share with you at least 9 things that I think are important for us in this new system that I am talking about. The first thing, ladies and gentlemen, it is meditation. And I know when I talk about meditation, people start thinking of Eastern mystic religions and so on and so forth. You know, you're sitting like a guru and you say, inner peace and all those things, and emptying yourself. No, listen, meditation is simply thinking about something. If you've ever worried about something, you've been meditating negatively. But you see, this kind of thinking is important in that you're putting the most important things in your life and you're thinking about them. You are imagining the best possible outcome about them. You're looking, for example, at your business and you're imagining and thinking it through and turning it around in your mind over and over again, imagining the best possible outcome and thinking of strategies that you can be able to put into place so that that business can be able to thrive. If you don't do this, then ideas are not going to be sparked into your mind. See, you provoke ideas through meditation. I'm telling you, the more you start thinking about things, the more ideas start coming into your life. There's a guy who's called Paul Fix, who said the reason as to why very many people get lost into their thoughts is because it is unfamiliar territory. In this new decade, one of the systems that we're supposed to use is the system of engaging the mind and actually thinking. I'm not talking about emptying your mind and becoming some kind of religious fanatic. No, I am talking about thinking about stuff. There's a guy called Joshua in the Bible whom God told that if you're going to be successful, you must meditate. You must think about this book of the law, think about it day and night, and recite it and teach it to your children, and then success is going to come to you. So that means that we need to think about the things that we think are important, the positive things, the great things. Think big. See, think risking, think partnerships. The more we think, the more we put our minds to task about this, the more the mind goes to work, either consciously or even subconsciously. But if we left our minds to be blank, guess what? They will stay blank. The degree of the thoughts you're going to have in your life are going to be directly proportional to the kind of meditation that you're having. Very many people normally ask me, Lawrence, how is it that you normally write on a daily basis? Where do you get your data from? You have quotes every single day. You have episodes on your podcast every single day. You have articles you're writing every single day. Where are they coming from? They are coming from this. I don't have, by the way, but there's some days I don't even have material. But the thing is that when I start meditating, quieting myself and putting my thoughts into some kind of focus and thinking through things, then once in a while an idea comes in terms of a seed. I normally work with seeds a lot. I don't have finished products. This episode is not a finished product. It's a seed that came unto me, and I ran with those seeds. And the core is the meditation. The root is the meditation. Have some kind of meditation that you're doing in your life, and let this thing be the first thing that you're doing daily. The rest of the day is going to be anchored with the way the mind is structured. If you think this world is a bad place, it's dead and it's bad and it's unfair, most of the day is going to be coming like that. So we order our day through the kind of mindset that we have. Those of us who normally pray, especially those of us who can pray in the spirit, we have a better advantage. And so we pray in the spirit 30 minutes, ordering our minds, structuring our minds, and getting the filthy things out and so on. And that's one system that never fails. It is used by believers, it is used by non-believers, it is used by human beings, and some of them you can see the results in their lives. The second thing that you can put in your system, and you need to up this, it is basically reading instructional and inspirational information. It is so easy to get distracted with our smartphones, and I'm talking to myself, but we need to have this reading catch. And here is the catch, by the way. You don't need to have 20 hours in a day to read. I am asking you to have a system in your life that is going to be repeated every day for 365 days, where you're going to be reading undistracted at least 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes. If you can clock 20 minutes, I'm telling you, if you can clock 20 minutes reading continuously without any distraction, reading something instructional, something motivational, something inspirational, something that is going to add value into your life one way or another, just for 20 minutes. Guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be having 20 minutes in a day. In 7 days, you're having a maximum of 140 minutes that you've done. And you multiply that by 4, you have a maximum of I don't know how many hours that you've done in a month. And if you do that in 1 year, my friend, you have earned yourself a PhD. There's some people, by the way, some of us, we have PhDs that we've never been awarded. Did you know that? We have masters that we've never been awarded. People normally think that reading, it's only done in a classroom and so on and so forth. The lecturer gives you notes and so on and so forth. Even yourself on a daily basis, you can have a system in your life where you read. If I am a guy my life is about purpose, talking to people about their life of purpose. I read every single day 20 minutes of purpose. My friend, when 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, I don't need to go to PowerPoint to create a presentation, a 20-minute presentation, a 1 hour presentation to talk about purpose. These things are part and parcel of me. They become a system, so to speak. The fruits are just dropping out. So I challenge you to have this. This is the deal. And like I've said, make sure it's not some winged thing. But if you are a guy or a lady who doesn't have a job, maybe your whole day is available to you, make it an hour of reading. Okay, the third thing that I want you to do, it is listening. There is so much you can listen to. If you don't have internet, you can actually borrow these things. You can go to a friend who has internet, you can go to a place where there's Wi-Fi, and you can download audiobooks, you can download messages, you can download YouTube stuff and so on and so forth, and convert them into MP3s. But every single day you are listening to something instructional, something inspirational. Find some kind of guru in your niche, someone that speaks the things that resonate with your spirit. If it's a Tony Robbins, download a massive amount of Tony Robbins data. If it's Miles Monroe, download a massive amount of Miles Monroe. If it's Bill Wilson, if it's Mike Murdoch, if it's whoever it is, and listen to what they are sharing every single working day for another 20 minutes. That is another system. It is non-negotiable. It's documented in your calendar and it is non-negotiable. You are not negotiating with anyone. In other words, you're moving all the stops, pulling all the stops, making sure that this is happening. If this doesn't happen, then there is a problem in your life. That is how you install another system in your life. And then the fourth thing that I want you to do, I want you to be doing what I call enchanting. Now, this sounds like you're some kind of witch and so on. Did you know what witches normally do to be able to cast their spells? They do enchantments. They will speak words, incorrigible and so on. Maybe I don't know what incorrigible means, but they speak words and they repeat them and so on and so forth. What they are doing is this thing that they're leveraging on the power of words. And you can do the same by using the power of words. Why? Because your mind, every time you go out there, it absorbs very many things. Oh, Iran is fighting America. I don't know, the Dow Jones has gone down. The stock exchange, the oil prices have gone up. This year is going to be a tough year. I'm seeing like our president has borrowed a lot of money. We are in debt. And so on and so forth. A lot of negativity is existing. And that's why you need to start speaking to the man in the mirror, and you start speaking positively to him. And I will challenge you to do this. I'll challenge you to sit down and actually craft the kind of words that you're going to be speaking. And I have my own words that I normally speak on a daily basis. I normally say this: every day I live a life full of divine energy and vitality, generating a powerful force of inspiration, impacting this world positively with a message of hope, wellness, and abundance. Every day I live a life full of divine energy and vitality, generating a powerful force of mighty inspiration, impacting this world positively with a message of hope, wellness, and abundance. Every day I live a life full of divine energy and vitality, generating a powerful force of positive inspiration, impacting this world positively with a message of hope, wellness, and abundance. And I keep repeating that over and over and over and over again, even for something like 5 minutes. By the time I'm through, I'm feeling that some calibration has been done on my mind. If there was some kind of fear in my spirit, it's kind of lifted and it's kind of gone. This thing sounds so weird. It is weird, my friend, but it is as powerful as it gets. The worst thing you can do on a daily basis is to wake up and your mouth is shut and you're not speaking to your day. You're not speaking into your life. You're not speaking into your spirit. Your mouth was given to conquer your mind, says Mike Murdoch. Sometimes your mind is reeling around with negativity, reeling around with things that, impossibilities, reeling around with disappointment and despondency and despair. Open your mouth and conquer that mind and install a new system into your mind. And sometimes I normally say, God say that He's going to bless me with everything He has. Bless and bless and bless. And therefore, with the blessing, I am blessed, and in abundance, I am abundant. And I keep repeating it over and over and over and over again. That is changing the kind of mindset that I am having. I know Tony Robbins does the same thing, and he changes these kinds of enchantments that he does. But they are very extremely powerful. The fifth thing that you can do, it is watching, and this goes hand in hand with listening. You can listen and watch all at the same time, but this means that you're basically getting a video that is inspirational and also instructional, and you're watching. And if you don't know where to get these things, you can go to the internet and get these things. There are very many powerful documentaries out there, and I can send you to one. There's a documentary about how they built the Panama Canal. There's also a documentary about a guy who flew the Atlantic. He's called Lindbergh. Go and watch that inspirational stuff. These inspirational websites and Facebook pages that you can be able to subscribe to and download their information and just watch this inspiration. You are basically installing a new system. You are the nucleus of what is going to happen if there's going to be a revolution in your life in this decade, you are the nucleus. The sixth thing that you can be able to do as a system, installing a system, is to learn to journal. Every time, for me it's been happening every time I go to the shower. By the way, I should be showering more often. Every time I go to the shower, nearly to a mathematical constant, I cannot fail to get a nugget. I cannot fail to get an idea. I cannot fail to get an inspiration. And I don't know what inspires you, by the way, but you need to learn how to journal. You need to learn how to very fast capture the ideas that have come to your mind on paper. And these ideas can come from your meditation, they can come from your listening, they can come from your watching, they can come from your enchanting. You have no clue, but just put those ideas down. Learn to journal. Even when the day is bad, learn to write how the day has gone. Learn to write what you've decided to do about the day. Learn to write your thoughts down. You are instilling a system in your life that is unbreakable. The seventh thing that you can be able to do, it is basically working on your health. There are some things that you can be able to do in a very limited space, even in your house. Just stretching, lifting yourself up, some planks, all these things, some crunches, all these things that you can be able to do. And they don't need you to have like 2 hours in a day. You can do a plank in 5. Okay, 5 minutes is just too much for a plank, but if you can do exercises for 5 focus minutes, okay, those ones are few, but let's say 15 focus minutes, even in one place. If you don't know how to do that, go to Google, go to YouTube. There are very many routines that you can be able to download that you can do for less than 10 minutes, and they have a massive payback in due time. And remember, as you do all these things, you are doing them on a daily basis. There is nothing that is going to change if you don't do it daily. Daily is the key. That's why I'm saying 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and so on. But it is a system that you are instilling in your life. And then you can decide that on a daily basis, I'm going to focus on relationships. And listen to me carefully. Relationships are suffering today because of distractions. And I'm speaking to myself. Distractions on the TV, distractions on the phone, distractions on social media, distractions on being alone. But you can decide to set aside some time, a system where you are using, let's say conservatively, 30 minutes. Okay, and I know I need to say 1 hour, but let me just say with 30 minutes, because you can manage that, where the phones are off, the TVs are off, and you're actually conversing, or you're basically in the presence of relationships, close people, and you're doing this on a daily basis, my friend. It's going to be cumbersome the first time you're going to start this, but as you go on, your mind is going to adjust, your spirit is going to adjust, and the relationships are going to morph, and it's going to be better by the day. You have installed inside of you the most important system in your life that is going to help you to position yourself strategically to revolutionize your life in this coming decade, and you are going to be not the same person ever again. You're going to be very happy that you did this. Your biggest friend, my friend, it is momentum. It is consistency. Don't do this today and then tomorrow you falter. There's got to be no breakage of this, even for 3 days. If there is a 3 days lull that you've not done this system, there is a danger. Red lights are on. You should throw all caution to the wind to restore the system. This is simple. This is the biggest revolution I've ever experienced in my life. It is going to set you straight. Whether you have a job or you don't, believe me, do this. Thank me later. Bye-bye. A special shout out to my mentor, Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University, found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.